is how to winterize your inboard outboard. My buddy's got a Maxum inboard outboard. It's a 19 foot. It's got a MerCruser in it. We're up in a cottage country here, and you get freezing winters, so you got to make sure all the lines are frozen, or all the lines won't freeze. All right, step one. Let's top this thing up with gas. When the air freezes, the moisture in the air is going to crystallize, and it's going to end up in your gas. You fill the entire tank with gas, and it minimizes the air in there, and that reduces the amount of water that will build up in there. Topping up the fuel. Yeah, here's the fuel stabilizer we have. 100 milliliters for each 30 liters. I don't know if you can read that, but basically, got to figure out how much your tank holds and add the appropriate amount. In our situation, this is a 100 liter tank, and we've already used, say, a third of this, so we're going to add the other, we're going to add that whole thing to the tank. You need one of these. The reason we add the fuel stabilizer first is because when we start to run this, you want to have the fuel with the stabilizer in it running through all your gas lines, because that's where it's going to gum up and cause you problems.
Step 2, let's remove this drain plug, but let's not forget to put it back in the spring.
It's a good idea to get the bow up as high as possible when you store it. When you're storing it, that'll allow all the water to drain out. Especially if you're outside, leave the plug out. Keep the nose up. We're lucky here, we're storing it in a little garage.
All right, Merc 4.3 Thunderbolt ignition. Wow, awesome. Okay, now we want to take off the carburetor cap here. Okay, the reason we're doing this is we're going to fire this thing up in a few minutes, and then we want to spray our fogging oil right in here.
So you're definitely going to need, if you're in areas that freeze, you're going to need to get some plumbing antifreeze, or it's called RV antifreeze. And you probably need quite a bit. Now you can buy a nice system that'll let you hook your the muffs that go on here to the antifreeze, but we're going to do it the cheap way, and I'll show you how. Okay, so we have these muffs that go on here that will allow your motor to pick up the antifreeze and run it through the system. And what I did is I took a chunk of garden hose that I'm going to attach here, attach them here. On the other end, I just cut a hole in a lid from a smaller container here, and I made it fit with some electrical tape. You can see that, so it doesn't leak very much. I'm going to attach it to the top of this full container. I'm going to hold it upside down, and then he's going to start the motor. I'm going to punch some holes in the bottom of this to let the air in, and we're going to run that whole container through. And before it runs out, we're going to turn it off so that it doesn't you don't cause your motor to overheat. It's also a good idea to have your unit lowered when you do this. It helps to get all the water drained out of it. See how much water is coming out of here now just from the muffler. You left that water in there over winter, it would crack everything. Yeah, that's good right there. You can keep going. That's it. Right. So next step is I'm going to hold that up above here. And he's going to fire it up, and we're going to run that most of that container right through. Then we're going to stop, and then we're going to do it a second time just to make sure we go through lots of antifreeze through the system. Hang on. More kids. Yeah, okay, you're good. Go ahead. You can see we got a lot of antifreeze through the whole system here because it's just pouring out everywhere now. So that's a good sign. Okay, this next step,
a lot of people don't do because it's a real pain in the ass, but you should. And that is to pull your plugs. Can you see that? Pull all your plugs one at a time. Spray fogging oil in there.
after you pull the plug, you spray fogging oil in each cylinder, probably for about 10 seconds each. 10 seconds, get a lot of oil in there. I also like to spray a little fogging oil on the actual plug as well.
After you take your spark plug out, put it back in, reattach the spark plug wire right away, because you don't want to have 2 or 3 unplugged and then not be able to figure out which order they go in. Because sometimes they're based on length and you can only put them one way, but sometimes you'll take them off and then you won't know where they go. Now we're on the other side.
Sparky pluggy?
And then we're going to, you can do it 2 ways. You can hand crank over the motor by putting it in gear and then just turning the propeller, or you can just turn the ignition real quick and just get the pistons to turn a bit, move the oil around. Get it to coat real well. Alright, we've sprayed all the pistons, we've turned it over, we put it all back together now. Make sure you put it all back.
Okay, there's a couple plugs you want to pull, and we're going to drain all the antifreeze out as well. This, you don't need to, but it doesn't hurt to get all the fluid out of here now, where we can. So there's one here,
Another one
just
there
take a
too.
look, it looks like this. So like butterfly plug, twist it off by hand. There's one there, and there's another one further under this motor. Okay, your last step is you got to pull your batteries for the winter.
In this case, you want to pull both batteries out, and you want to take them home, bring them somewhere where they're not going to get, they're not going to freeze, and put them on a maintainer if you have one. If not, I suggest you go buy one, because it'll save you buying new batteries in the spring. Okay, so now we're done. We're just going to cover it up, and it'll be good for the winter. If you have any suggestions or tips on anything we missed, please post them to help other users. Thank you.